Hello and welcome to a Tea with KG special. As always, we are here to spread the sparkle. And in this video, I have the honor of walking through a male to female journey with the amazing Dani Danger. So if you have been tuning in to the Tea with KG for a minute, you will recognize Dani from one of our OG episodes. She was here with me right from the get-go when this podcast slash YouTube channel came to be. If you're curious about a more detailed version of her story, check out episode 19, either here on YouTube or any podcast platform. We are literally everywhere, so search us up and you can find her original story. So in this video, Dani's going to be taking us through her transgender journey, including her facial feminization surgery. So we're doing this so we can educate people and just provide a safe space and resources for those who may be going through something similar, or you're just curious, how does it all work? And I'm just so happy that you're here with us and you're opening up this space and just sharing such a vulnerable journey, but it's so important. And I just want to thank you. I say thank you all the time, but I really do appreciate you being here and just being so open, because that's just so key in the world we live in. And I feel like that's how we learn and gain compassion and just all of the good things. And I also just want to put a disclaimer out there before we get going. We're not medical professionals. Any stories shared is just strictly on Dani's personal experience. And also there will be a bit of graphic photos and videos throughout. So just so you're aware, we want to just put that disclaimer out there. So without further ado, I'll introduce everyone to the lovely Dani.
Thank you for having me. This is so amazing to be on this again, and I get to share another story that I have. And
Yay.
yeah. So if you follow me on social media, you probably know me as Dani Jacobs. But part of my transition, I got to change my name. So Jacobs used to be my middle name, and now I've since changed it to Danger. So last time I did the podcast, I had just kind of come out and was figuring myself out. And since then, I had planned on doing facial feminization surgery. And I looked all over the world, kind of different areas of where I could do it. And none of the places really fit what I wanted, mostly because I didn't have tons of hair up here. And a lot of the places that did the surgery, they left a scar right in the hairline. And then I happened upon a YouTube video of a place in Spain, and I immediately, I watched it for about 2 hours, and then after I watched it, I realized that, hey, this is the place for me. I love their techniques.
The
They had
vibe was right.
It was, and they had tons of resources. So before I actually decided to do it, I looked at all their resources online on YouTube. They have a great website. The place is called Facialteam, so it's at facialteam.eu, and they also have a YouTube channel just called Facialteam, I believe. And there's tons of videos there. And I would say I watched hundreds of hours of just, like, I'd come home from work and just watch and learn and figure out what was out there. And I had some people in, like, some of the top surgeons, I think, in like Boston and in LA and stuff like that. And they never really fit what I wanted. So they were on my radar. But I could never really pull the trigger on those ones just because
Yeah.
they just didn't seem right. And literally, I found a video of Facialteam. Within a month, I think I had set up a consult with them. And then I basically just put my deposit down on it, and I was ready to go.
I love that. And I think that's so key. And I love that you brought that up about trusting your intuition and listening to your gut when it comes to big decisions like this, because it's not just a little thing, it's a big thing. And you want to make sure it's the right vibe, the right care, what you're looking for in your individual journey. So I really love that you brought that up. I think that's really important for anyone in life undertaking something big to just make sure it feels right too.
Yeah, absolutely. And these people at Facialteam, they provided the resources for me to look at and for everyone to look at. And this place has they talk about, they don't really want to feminize your face. They only do facial surgeries,
Mhm.
hence Facialteam. So they don't do other, like, body modifications and stuff in their hospital.
So they're an expert in the face. And I
They
like that they pull natural beauty. Like I am all about that.
Yeah, so their goal is not to like, they don't add, like, fillers and stuff like that, which a lot of other places do. Their goal is to take the skull and basically whatever testosterone got into it, they
Mhm.
basically take that out, so they basically remold the skull and the jaw and all that back to what it would have been had you not had the testosterone all year.
Mhm.
So it's a pretty crazy surgery what they do.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's pretty life-saving too. Like, I know it's changed the lives of so many people, like, including myself.
Mhm.
So it's been quite the journey for that.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that. And I want to insert a really sweet clip right here. So, Danny and I have been connecting this entire journey. We actually connected while she was in Spain. So, it was so cool getting to see the villa that she got to recover in and just hearing how she was feeling before going into the surgery and just everything. So, we're just going to insert a clip here. Enjoy.
Hi, friends. Me and Chastity just got to Marbella today. I actually had my first consult with the hair surgeon. Um, she said that she could do a little bit. I kind of knew that obviously they would be able to fix my whole head up, but yeah, looks like I'll probably need 2 more transplants if I wanted to get the whole head done. Yeah, I have surgery. Today is Friday. I have surgery on Monday, so we're gonna just play it up for a couple of days, and then on Monday, yeah, I'm just gonna walk in there and say, "Cut me open." I'm
Let's
so
go.
I'm excited for it because I mean it's interesting looking into the mirror now because I see myself and I'm like, wow, I'm probably never gonna see this face again. Be similar, but at the same time, I'm excited for the new stuff and the new journey and just yeah, getting to live authentically. So it's pretty
Yes.
cool. So
Oh, I'm so excited. Well, thank you so much for this part one of our amazing journey. And I can't wait to see what's next.
yeah, no, thank you for like I say having this opportunity, and I look forward to seeing you with my new face. Hi, friends. Um, just sitting here in my hotel room in Marbella right now. It's 31 degrees outside. Saturday, I'm getting ready for my surgery on Monday. Yeah, it's been interesting. Lots of weird feelings, lots of tears, lots of happiness. It's just, yeah, it's an interesting journey, let me tell you. But I'm excited for Monday to come. Um, yeah, it's gonna be weird waking up with a whole new face, all his nose and everything. But yeah, I just wanted to check in, let everyone know that I'm doing good, and looking forward to Monday. And I will keep everybody updated on what's happening. And if you have any concerns, you can always shoot Chastity a message. So anyway, have a good weekend, and we will talk soon.
Let's dive right in. Let's talk about the surgery. And like I mentioned before, we will be showing some photos, some videos. So just disclaimer out there will be a little bit more graphic content. But if you're interested to see and to learn about, and I'm just really excited to hear more.
Leading up to the surgery, I could not get COVID before surgery. I was very careful. My plan was to be careful 2, 3 weeks before surgery and make sure I didn't get the COVID. But I went to a festival and I got COVID about a week before I was going to fly out to Spain. I was going to fly out on a 20th and my surgery was going to be on a 4th. So I still had a few weeks so that I could be clear of that. So I
Mhm.
found out from another friend who lives close by who is also going to Facialteam, and that's how we actually met. Even though they're like my neighbor, we met through Facialteam, but they ended up getting COVID and then I ended up getting COVID, not related to them. And when I called my coordinator, she said, no, if you have COVID within 7 weeks, we can't do surgery. So literally, it was like 49 hours before I was going to fly out. I had to cancel everything.
Oh,
And it fully gutted me. And me
mm.
and my bestie who came and accompanied me on this. So we just basically were just kind of like, we can't go, and it just sucked. And it So yeah, so we just had like a little staycation for a week, and I got my mind kind of reset because I was pretty
Yeah.
that part sucked, but, so they rescheduled to me, but they reassured me that, "Hey, no problem, you got COVID. We'll just rebook everything. It's no big deal."
Perfect.
And luckily, all the hotels and stuff in Spain, most of them were I had free cancellation policies, and
Hmm.
one of them that I didn't have a cancellation policy, I just said, "Hey, I'm coming for surgery and I can't come," and they just basically were like, "Hey, well, you already paid, but we'll give you a credit." So when I rebooked, we stayed there.
Oh,
So
perfect.
so they
Everything
were
was so accommodating. That's so
yeah,
nice.
yeah, so it worked out quite well. Even the airlines, they're just like, "Oh, yeah, well, no problem," because I didn't have cancellation insurance for that. But yeah, so we ended up leaving 2 months later. So we
Mhm.
went in July, and, we flew to Barcelona, and we toured for, like, 3 days, and Barcelona was amazing.
Oh,
It was
amazing. What a way to start. Just touring Barcelona. Like,
So we did that, and then we met a lot of friends and stuff. Then we went to Valencia, then Madrid. Then from Madrid, we trained back down to uh, Malaga, and from
Mhm.
Malaga, that's where Facialteam they sent me a taxi to take me to Marbella, and
Yeah.
Marbella is where I was having the surgery. And yeah, the whole thing was pretty streamlined. It's nice having the vacation beforehand, but also I had to mask up and make. I was quite anxious because I didn't want to
Mm.
have COVID again.
Totally. You're like,
So
I am here for a reason. We're not
yeah,
messing it up.
so I arrived in, at this place called La Villa, where it was a hotel that catered to the Facialteam patients, and they had, like, nurses and stuff that would come there all the time. They had, therapists that would come. They even had, like, an acupuncture person who came.
That's so
Yeah, they
amazing.
yeah,
Everything you could need to
yeah,
heal. And like, I love too that it wasn't just your physical healing, like, they had mental healing as well with the therapy. Like, it's all
yeah.
interconnected to me. So I'm like, I'm so grateful that that place has everything. That's
Oh,
amazing.
absolutely, and we got there on a Wednesday. I had my consult on a Thursday, and my surgery was gonna be the Monday.
Mhm.
So we basically had 4 days to just chill and do whatever. So Thursday, Friday, we actually met up with a couple good friends of ours now. And yeah, it was nice because they were just about to head home, but I got to hear their experiences about all of the surgery and whatnot. And it was
Yeah.
really good for me to understand what was going to happen and stuff
And
that
have
nobody.
a real person you can talk to. It's so different. I love speaking to someone who's actually like gone through that or whatever the case may be. So that would make such a difference.
Yeah, so it was real that was special to me was being able to connect with these 2 friends, and it's good because 8.5 months later, I'm still chatting with them on WhatsApp and whatnot, and I get to see their how their journey is progressing, and we talk, and yeah,
Oh, so
and
good. It's like a support system, and you need that. As humans, we need support. So
yeah,
I love that.
yeah, so they left on Friday and Saturday, so we had Sunday kind of all to ourselves, and then,
Mhm.
Monday I had the surgery. So basically, I hopped in a cab. My friend Chastity, just took me basically to the corner, and we just said goodbye, whatever, and I went to the surgery, and it was so quick that I yeah, I basically pulled in, they took me to my little room in the hospital. From there, I basically went right down to anesthesia. They plugged a bunch of stuff into me and had me lay on this table. And it was neat because myself, I never had any anxiety or anything. It was just kind of like, yeah, this is happening. This is good. I had already had a
Mm,
trachea shave a year earlier. So I kind of
yeah.
knew what the surgery thing was. So I kind of knew what to expect. And I
Yeah.
knew how easy all of that was. But yeah, they said
Hmm.
laid on the table, and when they put the stuff that puts you to sleep, or at least in
Hmm.
my case, usually I start to feels like I'm having a heart attack kind of. So it's
Oh.
kinda like, oh, kinda heavy breathing. So that happened, and then immediately my eyes woke up, and they said, "Oh, we're doing the hair transplant now." So I had just had whatever it was from 9 to I think I started surgery at, like, 9 o'clock. 8:30 or 9, and so they woke me up, I think, at, like, 6 PM.
Okay.
So it was a long time under, and
Yeah.
then so then they started doing the hair transplants because I also got a simultaneous hair transplant,
Hmm.
and so they did that, I think, for another 3 hours. I was pretty drugged up, but
Yeah.
it was neat, just I could feel them doing stuff, and it went by so quick.
Hmm.
So basically what happened my facial feminization surgery, what they do, I've got my brow bone shaved off. So they shaved off my brow bone. They had to, in order to do that, they actually had to take my sinus cavity. They had to cut that open. First, they peeled off my skin from the back of the head. So they did
Hmm.
an incision across here, peeled my skin right down to there, basically.
Like below the eyes.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's just the skull was exposed, and then they had to take my sinus cavity off because they're going to shave the whole front of my skull,
Yeah.
and they can't do that otherwise it thins off where the sinus cavity is. So they took that
Oh.
right out, and then they shaved down everything, the orbital sockets, the brow bone. I think they scraped a bit of the skull itself just to get more of a feminine shape of it.
Hmm.
Um, I always call it like the Neanderthal that
Oh
males.
yeah.
Yeah, they shaved all of that off, and then they reinserted the sinus cavity and have little clips there. So then what they did
Wow.
was they obviously put all of the skin back. They have two little clips that were in my head here that were dissolvable that would
Mhm.
hold the skin in the right spot. But when they sewed up the back here, the original incision, what they do is they take about a half-inch strip of skin away
Mhm.
from that, which is usually tossed. But in my case, or people who are short on hair, they actually use that and they had a hair transplant. So it's a simultaneous hair transplant.
Perfect.
Yeah, so I got 1900 grafts put in basically all in this area here where there was no hair. You can kind of see it's still growing in here, but
Hmm.
it basically it's still gonna fill in a lot more. So
Oh
it
yeah.
takes a long time.
Oh
But
yeah. I mean, even myself, I know how long my hair takes to grow. I'm like,
yeah,
it's such a process. But I love that they can do it all at the same time. Like that's
yeah.
amazing.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, because I mean they put it in, and then a month later it falls out, like all of it. So then it's just gone again, and then it
Hmm.
gradually just starts growing again. So
Oh, I
it takes
didn't
a
know
long
that.
time. Yeah. So I think right now I'm at, I would say, somewhere between 60 and 80%, maybe somewhere in
Yeah.
that area of it's being filled in.
Mm, I
Yeah,
love that.
so that was the top part, and then basically they reshaped my nose. So now I have like a better nose. Yeah.
Cute
And then,
nose, love it.
right, a little button nose. Another thing what they did was they shaved off, I used to have like little fins in here, and it was
Yeah.
very square. So what they did here was they made an incision inside my mouth, one here, and then one's in along the gums in here. When I went in for my consult, they did CAT scans on me, MRIs. And so I have pictures of all of that, but within those MRIs, they were able to make a 3D jig. So with that 3D jig, what they did is it looks kind of like an Invisalign,
Hmm.
but what they do is they actually bolt that to your jaw. So they, through those
Okay.
incisions, they'll put that in to your jaw. And
Wow.
from that, it's a cutting guide so that they know exactly how much they're going to cut off. So it's not just be like, oh, a little bit here, a little bit here. It's like very
Yeah.
precision. And
Cool.
they use ultrasonic cutters, which only cuts bone, so it won't cut any of the nerves or anything like that. So it's very,
Perfect. I did not know that. That's really cool. Like I didn't know there
yeah,
was different things that only cut bone. Like that's so cool.
yeah. I have pictures of basically my jaw, basically. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it looks like I can see basically this bone in this little Invisalign kind of contraption, and yeah, it's
Wow.
pretty neat when I show people. It's just like that's my jaw, and they're just like, wow, it's a pretty crazy surgery. So this is the MRI that they did before and after my surgery. You can see on the left-hand side how in the pencil on the bottom was proposed of what they were going to take off of my chin. And on the right, obviously you can see how they took the squareness off of the jaw. And in the back of the jaw, you can see there was a little fin mark there. So they straightened that more out as well. And then here is the side profile, again in pencil. You can kind of see what they had proposed to take off. If you notice the brow bone, how pronounced it is there. And then if we slide over here to the after, and you can see how the brow bone's been completely shaved off. The jaw itself is more straighter.
yeah, with a more feminine shape.
So I woke up from the surgery, and a few of my friends had different reactions. A couple of them actually threw up
Okay.
when they woke up. For me, I was good for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, my whole left side just started shaking for some reason.
Oh.
And then it would stop, and then it would shake again. And I don't understand if that's like the anesthesia wearing off or just
Yeah, maybe.
some
Did
kind
they
of reaction.
say anything about that or they didn't?
No, everything was in Spanish too, so I didn't know what I
Oh.
didn't know what they were saying because
Yeah.
yeah. So the only thing that I did ask was like, how many transplants? They're like 1900. And yeah, and that's pretty much all that I heard from them. So
Wow.
yeah, and then they wheeled me up to my little recovery room. So here's pictures of me sitting here in my bed day one.
So today's day one. I didn't sleep very good. It was just a really rough night. Lots of pain, whatnot. Yeah, they're gonna take out my bandages today out of my nose. They took the catheter out. That sucked. Oh my god. Yeah, hoping I'll feel a little chipper. I could almost see out of my eyes right now. I've become a really good ventriloquist, so that's a plus. And also, I think I got a good nose now. If I could see, I could probably tell if I had a cute nose.
Day two.
So here I am, day 2 out of surgery. Technically, I had surgery on Monday. Today is, yeah, Wednesday, so day 2. Feeling a little bit better. Apparently, the swelling, this is kind of gonna be like the maximum day. But yeah, everything kind of went good. Like they had to like shave the top of my head a little bit out there. My forehead should get smaller, I would hope. But yeah, anyway, everything is going as planned, and I should be heading back to the villa tonight at like 3 o'clock. So that should be good to be sleeping in my own bed. Yay!
Can see how swollen. I started off not very swollen, and then you can see by day two it got really swollen and bruised. So it wasn't painful the first night. I just didn't sleep at all. The second day I
Mm.
found there was a little bit of pain, but they gave me some really good drugs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they took care of that.
yeah. At one point I thought that the wall had wallpaper that was like moving. Yeah. So that was fun. But also because I wear contacts and I have a high prescription, I couldn't see anything because I couldn't put contacts in. I couldn't wear glasses because I had the
Right.
nose thing going on. They had surgery on the Monday. That night was a little bit rough. The next night after that it wasn't too bad. It was a little bit uncomfortable. And then by Wednesday, they discharged me at I think 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So I was only in the hospital for a couple of days. And
Perfect.
yeah, I think just that first day, they just wanted to make sure I was okay. They had a tube in my head that they took out the first day. I had a catheter on, which was kind of a surprise for me. I was like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's there. And then I'm like, oh, it's there,
Oh,
which was handy because I mean, yeah, didn't have to go to the bathroom.
that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. So I went home went home. Sorry, I went back to the villa on Wednesday.
Start date Wednesday, the 27th, I think. Getting really good at my ventriloquism. Yeah, healing up good, I guess. This is a peak of the swelling. So, yeah, I think the hair transplants are going good. I can't really see this video because I'm taking it. But yeah, definitely feels swollen. Damn.
And basically spent like the next bunch of days healing.
Mm-hmm.
So I had cooling masks that to keep the swelling down. So while I was in the hospital, they had this thing that ran cold water through it. So that was on me most of the time
Ooh.
there. And then as I was in my hotel room, I had just some cooling masks and stuff like that. And
Mm.
there's a guy there who did the lymphatic drainage. So he did
Yeah.
that in the hospital. I can't remember if he did it once or twice, but then Chastity learned how to do it. So
Aw.
every day, about twice a day at least, she would do the lymphatic drainage, and you could just feel all of the juices go down. It's kind of
Oh, yeah.
gross, but
It sounds satisfying to me. I'm like,
it's
I love,
satisfying.
right? Dr.
Yeah.
Pimple Popper. I love watching that. I know it's weird, but it's so satisfying. I'm like, yes. So I feel like that would be really satisfying.
Yeah. So I have some more pictures of just like the recovery from the Thursday, Friday. So I would say that the Thursday, that was kind of like the roughest day where I feel I was the most swollen and then it started
Mhm.
coming down.
So here we are. I think it's day 3 because it's Thursday. Had surgery on Monday and still a little bit light sensitive, but the swelling around my eyes has gone down quite a bit. Chassie's been doing these lymphatic drainages on my face. It is pushing all the fluid out, and yeah, it's looking kind of neat. I can actually wiggle my nose, so that's kind of fun. And my eyebrows. Yeah, and the hair transplants are going good, so that's all good. And I think my forehead probably won't be this big, but whatever. Starting to be a little bit better spirits now. It was a little rough, but now it's way better. Yay!
And then by Friday, it was good because I was able to put in my contact lenses and I could actually see. So I could like walk around, but my head was just a balloon of just swollenness.
So here I am, day 4 after surgery. I had surgery on Monday, the 25th of July. I think it's the 29th of July today. Swelling's gone down quite a bit.
If someone's ever going in for face surgery, it's good if they know they're going to look like crap for a little bit. It's scary. Like I saw other people who had the surgery and I look at them and just like, oh my God, that looks horrendous kind of thing. But
Yeah.
the healing goes, it, I feel like the healing goes on like it goes slow, slow, slow. And then it's just like goes uphill, like really fast.
Yeah,
So,
totally. And it's such an individually based thing too, right? Like some
oh,
people bruise so easy, some don't. Like,
yeah.
so I think that I love that you brought that up though about being aware because that's very key to know.
Yeah, so I have actually a couple of videos, little short videos of I was basically thinking of what the healing was like at the time, and I remember how not how frustrated I was, but I knew that it was like the toughest moment of my life where I was just like, I want to give up, but I
Hmm.
know it just felt like the hardest thing for me in the world to do. And
Yeah.
as as the video will say, I don't regret it. Like I was like, I would do it all over again. Even as I was in all of that pain, I'm just like, I would do this all over again in a second. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, I love that. And that's so beautiful because you're owning it, you're living your truth, and that's what's up. So I love
Yeah.
that.
I haven't really uh, talked a whole lot about it, but gotta say this has been like one of the hardest things I've ever done in my entire life. I think I fully underestimated how much pain and just emotions and just how draining this whole surgery has been. Uh, that being said, I would do it all over in a second if I had to. Maybe not right now, but at some point I would, because I just know it's something that I needed to do. Um, yeah, I just couldn't do any of this without all the support of all my friends, and especially Chastity, who's been here helping me out this whole time, getting me food and helping me with medications. And when I couldn't see, today's the first time I had my contact lenses in, so I could actually see. Uh, here's like the hair transplants that they did. So they also shaved the front part of my head a little bit. So I don't know why they did that actually, but they did. I don't think I'm high on medication right now, but it's a possibility. So anyway, maybe on Monday I get my hair washed, August the 1st, and then August the 2nd I get all my stitches and everything out, and then we leave Marbella on the 3rd. So yeah, I'm excited to be back home, see all my friends, and just be able to heal up properly. So I just want to shout out a good little message to all my friends and just say thanks for being there. So here it is, Saturday. It's 5 days after surgery, which I had on Monday. Swelling, still there. But yeah, the hair and everything are going good. I have no idea what's going on with my voice, but yeah. It, maybe I am less swelling, maybe not. So here we are. I think it's July 31st. Still can't talk, still a bit of a chipmunk, but getting around lots, tons of energy. Feel like the bruising around my eyes is maybe getting a little bit less. Moving down into my chin area here. Still very swollen all in the bottom of our hair, but underneath my chin is kind of like gone away. Swelling in here is mostly gone away. I can actually have a little bit of feeling in there. Yeah, still a little bit puffy, feeling better. So hopefully tomorrow is just even better. So here's Sunday, right after lymphatic drainage massage. Feel like a chipmunk still.
So I met quite a few friends on the Monday. So I had the surgery on the Monday. So the two friends, Holly and Isla, they left on the Friday, Saturday. So we saw somebody come in on Tuesday when I was there, and it was actually our friends, Electra and Manon, who we're now friends with. So we saw them kind of sneaking because Electra just had her surgery as well. And then when I got back to the La Villa, we met up with a bunch of other people who were getting ready for surgery. My friend Effie, another friend Connie showed up on the Thursday, but Effie kind of had similar swelling and bruising, I guess, as me for a little bit, but mine lasted for like 5 weeks.
Okay.
Whereas hers not so much. And then I have other friends that lasted that long. And then my friend Connie had surgery, I think, on the Thursday. We saw her a few days later when she got back, and it looked like she had nothing done. And
Oh
we're
my
just,
God.
what the hell? Like, do you just had surgery? Yeah. Whereas I had no pain or anything like that. Some of my friends had like really bad like headaches and stuff like that. So I think just my pain tolerance was a little different
Yeah.
than theirs. Yeah. So we're all healing very different. So
Yeah.
obviously the age gaps and stuff like that were a little different too. So yeah, and it
It's
was neat.
good to know.
Yeah. And as we were there, because we were all staying in the same villa together, I'm kind of like an instigator where I like to get people together. So
Yeah.
we started up this little ice cream group. So we called it the Ice Cream Crew on WhatsApp. And then it was so hot there because we were there during a heat wave in July.
Wasn't it like, oh my God, I can't remember how hot it was. You told me though. I feel like it was like 50 degrees or something. It was
It was
so hot.
48 in Madrid.
48, yes.
48 in Madrid was the high. So when we got back to Marbella, it was down into like the 32, 35 kind of, I want to say. It was still hot. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
We're Canadian for all the
yeah.
international listeners out there, so
Yeah. I found that me and my friend Effie actually were the ones who kind of we were kind of more instigators. So we'd go out for ice cream, then other people would come, and so every night at like 9 o'clock when it got cooler out, we would just be like, hey, we're all going for ice cream. Everyone would pop out their doors and we go walk down through the streets, and there's a lot of looky people in the streets. A lot of the shops, they all knew about the place, so they see
right.
everything all the time. But some of the tourists are just kind of like, oh, what's happening with these people? We basically
Right.
had, because we had jaw surgery, we had to have like this bandage all around our head.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we were just, so yeah, they were probably just like, what is with these people?
What is happening here?
But I mean, even like the people, so our villa is kind of intermixed with other people who live there full time, and
Mhm.
all those people are amazing too. Like they're just so helpful, and just like, yeah, they're just
Mm,
like the nicest little community there. And
I love that.
yeah.
That's so sweet. I would feel really good being surrounded by that kind of good energy.
Yeah,
Especially because it's vulnerable too when you go get something like that done. You're vulnerable after. You're healing. It's all the things, all the feels. So
well, for sure. And
totally.
And it was good because when we'd go for dinner and stuff like that, sometimes like Chastity would go pick me up stuff while I couldn't do stuff. Like I'd be healing in the room all day, just like laying there basically. So she would go down to the beach because we were right on the ocean there. So she'd
Ah,
go snorkeling and stuff during the day and then come back and yeah, and then we'd meet up with friends, or she'd go shopping with the companions of the other people who were there. And
aw,
it was
that's
it was like a
nice.
really nice big group of amazing friends. Yeah, that I
Mm.
really cherish that a lot.
Oh, for sure. And I feel like it's so vital. Like that connection, like connection is the foundation of health. Like we need that. We need connection and support and just good energy and vibes. So that on top of just a great experience in general, it's just like I'm so happy that like you got to experience those people. And I believe that the people we're supposed to meet in this life, we meet them somehow. So I feel like you were meant to connect with those people for
Oh,
sure.
absolutely. Yeah, they're the greatest people. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so it was a very good experience at La Villa while we were healing and stuff like that. I had a nurse come every morning and they would clean like my hair transplants. Like I couldn't touch my hair at all. I basically had
Yeah.
to shoot saline spray on it. So by day 4, I think it was, my hair was so gross. It was just like covered in goo. It just was like it was so gross. Yeah.
I know
Um,
what you mean. Like, yeah, I try not to wash my hair too much just because, it's healthier not to, but sometimes I'm like, "Oh, honey," I'm like, "You have got to wash your hair." Like, "Oh my God." So, yeah, I know
so when
what
they
you mean.
washed, yeah, they washed it, I think, on day 6, and they got like all because it scabs up on you, kind of.
Yeah.
Not too bad because that's what the saline. You have to keep it damp. I have to spray it every hour, I believe,
Okay.
for that whole 6 days, every hour. But at night we would put this oil on it. We spray this oil on it instead, and that would be good enough while you're sleeping, and then it's back to the saline spray. So that
Okay.
was kind of the thing. We'd be having like ice cream and stuff, and then the alarm would go off, and it's like, oh, everyone's spraying our heads, and yeah, we're at a restaurant or whatever. And yeah, so that was a really good experience. I loved it that they sent a taxi to our villa, which was about 10-15 minutes away from the hospital. So they would send it
Yeah.
for all of our appointments, and the taxi driver there was great. Like he kind of knew
Mm.
everybody. Like he was kind of like their main taxi driver. We did have other ones. So I remember it was the last day that it was my final consult at the hospital. They took the stitches out of my nose. They took the stitches out of the back of my head and everything like that. We said the goodbyes to like our my coordinator and everybody, and it was so neat just seeing my nose though when they took the band-aid off, and or the cast, and it was just like,
Yeah.
oh, this is so cool.
Was it a
And
big transformation at that time? Because I feel like
uh,
I've heard people say with like nose surgery, it's like a year before you see like the final results. I don't
It'll
know if
be like
that's,
a year to 2 years. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Like mine's still swollen right now at 8.5 months.
Wow.
I notice it. Sometimes my breathing will be really good. Sometimes it won't. The doctor, when he saw my nose at first, he looked at it and he's just like, "Can you breathe out of that?" And I'm like, "No, really." And he's like, "We'll fix that."
Oh,
And then after
I love it.
surgery, yeah, I think like 2 or 3 months after surgery, I was just sitting there and I was actually breathing out of it one day. I'm like, I've never breathed out of my nose like that
You're like, I
before.
can breathe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause whenever I had my mouth shut, I couldn't breathe out of my nose. I would just like I wouldn't have enough air.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
for
Whereas
sure.
I was coming out of this hospital, the final consult day, and I said our goodbyes. I got in the cab, and my seatbelt in the back of the cab was stuck in the corner over here. So I'm
Mhm.
like pulling on it, and it finally let go. And I punched myself square in the brand new nose.
Stop.
It,
No.
and I was just like, no,
Oh
like,
my God.
it hurt, like it hurt.
Oh, that would hurt like a bitch. Oh my God. Even if your nose was not fresh out of surgery, I think that
Yeah,
would hurt so
yeah,
bad. Oh
I was
my
just like,
God.
"Oh my god, is it good? Is it good?" Whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was good.
We're
So,
we're still good. Okay.
yeah, it was good. I was just like, "Okay, it's all fine." And I knew it had healed enough because it was like 6 or 7 days at the time.
Oh, yes, that's
Yeah,
true. Okay, good. It wasn't like
yeah.
fresh.
It wasn't well, it was fresh, but it was
Fresh, yeah.
yeah. So, yeah. So when we went to do my final consult, our friend Effie was actually in the hospital getting her surgery. I think she was in the day before. So
Okay.
we went and visited her and stuff, and it was just nice. And then we got the taxi back to the villa. We had our final dinner that night with a bunch of our friends. So we had this little restaurant down the street. It was called La Flora,
Okay.
which is a cool little restaurant. We became friends sort of with the owners there. They're pretty new, but they were always super nice to us and whatnot. They saw me before surgery and then they saw after surgery. So I don't know if they really knew about the surgeries that much because they were so new there.
Yeah.
But the last day, they actually brought champagne out to us with like a big sparklery person. So actually,
Yes.
so that night it was very surreal because we're basically saying goodbye to all of our friends.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
the
these
next
new connections, all these soul tribe people, all the people who helped you, the doctors, everyone. Wow.
yeah. So it was very sad knowing that we were gonna not see these friends, our ice cream crew. Yeah,
Yes.
I have friends that are in like Florida, Portland. A lot of my friends are from the UK. There's just like a whole bunch of
Yeah.
us, and it'd be like one person leaves this day, one's coming here, kind of thing. Whereas I was kind of for this little crew that we had, I was kind of the start of it, and then
Yeah.
everyone came. So I got to when we left, I was kind of like the first one of our little crew to leave. I knew of some of the new people that joined our WhatsApp group, and then eventually everyone had gone home, and then it was just kind of like kind of done. But I mean, obviously we stay in touch
Oh,
still.
yeah. And I feel like I remember from our original episode, you have friends all over the world. Like you're so great at connecting with people and utilizing social media to connect with people from all over. So I love that. I see it's still going strong.
Oh yeah, I love connecting with people and yeah, matching people with when I see like two people, I'm just like, you need to be friends. And it's
Yeah.
right now I think there's two people that I met online who are one of them is just finishing Barcelona. I said, go check out Barcelona. So they're doing
Yeah.
sort of the same tour as what I'm doing. And then another friend, they're having surgery at the same time. So I connected them both and they would have found each other anyway.
Yeah.
But I was kind of like, you guys might as well meet because you're going to be there at the same time. Yeah. And
Totally. I
yeah.
feel that way too. It's so when you meet people and you're like, yes, you two need to know each other. I love bringing people together like that too. So I
Yeah.
totally feel you.
And I think the hardest thing for me was actually leaving in the taxi, getting
Mm.
to from Marbella to Malaga. Yeah, it was tough.
All the feels, right? Oh my gosh. And just like all the feels, no matter what, but especially just like going through this transformation and just I feel like it was such a long time coming and then, there were setbacks, but you still got there, you still did it and like look at you now.
Yeah.
Like,
It feels amazing having like all of that. It took a few months to heal to the point
yeah.
where I wasn't bruised and whatnot. But
Mhm.
I think the biggest thing that kept me going was that I knew to trust the process.
Yes. Oh my God. Can you say that one more time for the people in the back? Like in
Trust the
life.
process. Yes.
Yes, we've got to
'Cause
trust the process because that's what's up. No matter what you're looking at in your life, you've got to. And I feel like our world is so instantaneous now. It's like just all the stimulation all the time, and we forget to slow down and just trust the process. So thank you for saying that. I love that.
because I was very scared. Like had I not seen people ahead of me, I
Yeah.
would have just been like, "Oh wow, like I'm disfigured now." Like because
Hmm.
I was swollen for like I'm still swollen now. Like I mean this you can't tell, but my this is all swollen in here a little bit. My nose
Yeah.
gets swollen in here. I look back and I'm like, "Oh, I'm healing pretty good." I guess my face, I was happy with the way my face was. But then
Hmm.
another 2 months would go by and I'm like, "Wow, I look so much different." And then another
Yeah.
2 months goes by, I'm just like, "When did that happen?" It's like a ever changing and people who see me only like once a month or once every couple months, they're just like, "Wow, you look so different already." Like just
Yeah.
stuff's happening. Yeah.
Yeah. Things are settling in where they're supposed to.
Yeah.
Swelling's continuing to go down.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, I feel better about it every day. It is quite the emotional journey too, because
Yeah.
um, for me, it's hard because when you're doing the transition from the inside, I just see my old self because I'm staring
Mhm.
out the same vision that I've always
Yep.
seen. When I look in the mirror, I have total euphoria of just like gender euphoria of like, oh wow, like this is I love this.
Yeah.
But then as I leave, I still see as if I have the old face. So it's really hard to believe that stuff has changed. and stuff, and see that
Totally.
other people see you totally different now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel in a different way. I can relate like body dysmorphia. I feel like I look at that all the time and I'm like, what do I look like? Like I feel like I'll see a picture of me. I'm like, "Oh, I'm like I look good." Like cuz I always think I look bigger but I'm not. And it's just like it messes with you cuz when you look at yourself, you see something and then you see a photo and you're like, "Oh, wait. No, my mind is messing with me. It's not real." So again in a totally different way, but I can relate. It's like it's hard to get your brain to like catch up with what's real sometimes. I don't know if I'm explaining that right,
Yeah,
but
it's definitely, it plays with your mind quite a bit. Yeah,
mm,
as we're doing this podcast right now, I was actually talking really good and stuff, but as this time has kind of gone by, I'm actually feeling my face swell up a little bit. So as I
wow.
do it, I'm actually, you can't tell probably, but I'm actually slurring my speech a little bit.
Oh, I didn't even notice. No.
So I can feel it. Yeah, especially when I say the word slur, I'm feeling that within my tongue and everything.
Hmm.
That's the main word that gets me. But
Okay.
so I still have a lot of like numbness in here.
Hmm.
Yeah, my head is finally, after the 8.5 months, I can feel a lot more here. Whereas I would say the first few months, it felt like I was wearing a basketball. Like if
Wow.
you basically took and skinned a basketball, put it on your head, that's what it felt like on the outside and on the inside.
Wow.
That's what it felt like to me.
That's a good analogy.
Yeah. And then a lot of the other times, I would feel like I was wearing a hat all of the time. Um,
Hmm.
a lot of times it was, but it was, yeah, even without the hat on, I would feel, and it felt like I was wearing a hat. And now sometimes I'll like step into the shower and I feel like I'm wearing a little scrunchie on the back, and I'll go to grab it. I'm like, no, there's no scrunchie there. I can just feel like a little bit of pulling in there. But
Okay.
it's a very slow healing process to
Hmm.
get all of the nerves back. And yeah, some people get it back faster. Sometimes it takes years to get all of that back.
Yeah. And
So
again, I love that you're bringing that up because I would never have known that. Like I wouldn't think you would have that loss of sensation for so long. So again, that's amazing that
yeah,
you're educating us and letting us know about that.
yeah. But I mean, for the majority of people, it does come back. And it's one of those things where, again, I'm just like trusting the process.
Yeah.
Um, at Facialteam, I can still, even though I've had surgery 8.5 months ago, I have access to all of the doctors there. If I have a problem, they'll just like they'll help me out. So that's always reassuring too.
Perfect.
It's not like, hey, take my money and
Yeah. Is it a lifelong thing or like I don't know if there's that
it,
was ever put out there. Is there like a limit to how long you have access or is it
I
just
think it's generally like a year is kind of but
okay.
you have to understand this team, like they put a lot out there for the transgender community. Like they do a lot of good stuff. If I went back to them 5 years later, I'm sure their doctor would do something to help. Like
Oh yeah.
I feel like they're very good in that way. And I mean, there's a peer group on Facebook of people who are looking at surgery or if they have had surgery. So I've posted on the peer group a bunch of times too. And it's nice to see like before and afters and just progress going on,
Yes.
giving their experiences. Like someone might be
Yeah.
like, hey, is this swelling normal? And they'll be like, yeah, this happened to me, blah, blah, blah. So it's kind
Hmm.
of like
Like a
yeah,
support group. Yeah,
yeah,
totally. Share your experience. I love that.
yeah. So that's very helpful. I kind of wish they had that in a lot of other aspects of surgeries and stuff like
Oh,
that. So,
yeah. I
um,
agree. I agree. Because it puts, again, it puts a person to the thing. And it just, I don't know, again, if it's like the small town girl in me, but I will always want to hear someone's experience with something, like when I'm looking into something new. I don't know. That's just me.
yeah, so yeah, they have great resources. It's a great team. That being said, I mean, there's complications in any surgeries and stuff. So
Hmm.
like nose surgeries, I think they say that the complication rate in nose surgeries, don't quote me really, but I think it's like 10% where people might need like a revision and whatnot. So it's
Right.
a lot.
The
So
rate.
there are complications in everybody's,
Yeah.
but the team is very good at dealing with the complications. We
Mm.
have a nurse that we can call anytime. Like we'll just email and she'll kind of let us know what we need to know. A lot
Hmm.
of the times it's just like, just hurry up and wait kind of thing. Cause
Yeah. Part of the
yeah,
process, baby.
yeah. But a lot of people want the reassurance of like, hey, I'm not nothing bad is happening, right? And
Totally. And that's it too, because it's again, it's a new thing. I totally could understand why that reassurance would be helpful. Definitely.
yeah, it was a very good experience going to have that surgery. And I did find that after the surgery, I did have a little bit of brain fog, which
Okay.
I talked to another friend, said that she had a little bit of that too. Like
Hmm.
injuries might be different or whatever, but yeah, I found that that was a thing for me, which I've kind of looked into it. I don't know if it's from anesthesia being under for so long, or
Right.
maybe it could be other things. It could be part of my HRT that I'm doing as well. So
Right.
there's all these other things, but also after the surgery, I found that I get dizzier faster when I'm spinning. So
Right.
I do burlesque and disco
Yes.
classes. Yeah, so I find that if I'm doing a spin, if I go around more than twice,
Uh-huh.
I have to stop and I just have to like try and refocus because I'm like,
Yeah.
it's really neat actually now, because I'm still learning how to dress differently and stuff. Like I'm used
Mhm.
to having my just comfortable clothes. Like I used to be just like sportswear and stuff. So whereas now
Yeah.
I need to learn
You're
to
rocking your pink. I see you.
yeah, doing the pink and yeah, and then all the
Yeah.
estrogen, it's
And
all
also, I have to rave about this. Those photos you just posted, that red hair, honey, with
right.
that dress. I was like, oh my God, that hair color is definitely for you. Like,
Yeah,
whoa.
we could post a picture right there.
Yeah, we can. Look at this. Like,
Yeah,
amazing.
that
I
was
was
at
obsessed.
yeah, that was at the burlesque festival, which I go to every
Ah,
year, and that was one of the places where I they were very accepting of me when I was figuring myself out, and it was
yeah,
very I think I talked about it in our last video, and yeah, it's just a great little community for me, and they're
totally.
like a family to me, and so, uh,
Yeah, oh, for sure. And yeah, we definitely touched on that in our original episode we did. And that's the thing, finding those beautiful, safe places where you can just be. That's what's up. Oh my God.
yeah, so this has been a great experience, and like I say, I'm healing every day. Like I even now I'm like, oh, I'm pretty good, but I know that in another 2 months, I'm gonna see tons of changes. Yeah, like my whole
Yeah.
body just in like using the estrogen and testosterone no longer in me. I never really noticed it until like this coming year, and was like, wow, my body's changed a lot. Like I have a girl figure now, and
Oh yeah, like that dress. I was like, there she is. Hello.
right?
Like, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an amazing journey, and I never really thought that I would be here years ago, because I'm like I'm
Yeah.
too tall. I'm like the hair, I was thin in the hair, which I still am, but I'm going to be getting more hair transplants soon. I have another consult in 10 days, um,
Awesome.
just to kind of see, so I can have hair. I can either travel to get hair, or I can have it here. I'm going to
Mhm.
see what the price difference
To-
kind of is. And
totally. Yeah.
so yeah, lots of fun stuff on the horizon that we'll
Oh
be
my
able to
God.
talk about maybe in like a third episode one day.
Oh, for sure. I can't wait. It's like you said, it's trusting the process and it's a journey. It's not about, oh my God, Benson is like, will not stop moving. I'm so sorry. He's
I
like
love
pushing
things.
me. I know.
Yeah.
Everyone loves him. So I just am like, it's fine. He's entertainment. But yeah,
Yeah.
like the healing journey. And I just commend you so much for being so patient with yourself and letting yourself heal and not putting extra pressure on yourself and just allowing yourself that space. I just think that can speak volumes for anybody doing anything. Like, I commend you so much for having that mindset. And I think because you have such a good mindset, like, and I know not every day is perfect, not every day is positive, but I genuinely like I can feel that coming from you. And even like in all of our video calls we've had throughout this journey, you always approach it with such a beautiful mindset. And I think that can take you so far in life. So I really love
No,
that.
it's a good journey, and like you say, I have struggles. I have
Mhm.
I have I have struggles for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, because it's a I'm lucky because in Vancouver especially, there's so much support here.
Mhm.
Like I can walk up and down the street. I very rarely get looks, and right now people look at me and I can't tell if it's because I'm tall or if it's just they're like, oh, here's like a trans person or whatever. Well, often I'm wearing like a cow hat or a cow outfit or something. I wish that a lot of other people had the proper resources and stuff. I'm lucky in Vancouver. I have resources that somebody in Alberta might not have,
That's
or
right.
have a good support system here. My friends, like when surgery got canceled, they made me like a beautiful video. All my friends, I still can't watch it and not cry.
I'm like, I'm gonna cry, and I haven't even seen it.
Yeah, and it's just so beautiful. Like them all just give me like words of like, yeah, like this surgery is gonna happen, and
Yes, when it's
yeah,
meant to. Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's so good. So
Mm.
but yeah, being surrounded with tons of people who support is
Yeah,
it's good.
so
And
key.
like I was touching on, I never thought that I would be in a position where I could live authentically. And then eventually it was just like, I'm doing it. And
Yep.
it's actually a lot easier than living like a lie, I would say.
Yes. Oh my God. I love that you said that. It reminded me of the quote, like, the only way out is through. And that's like with any healing journey. Like, it's not that it's a beautiful freaking journey every day. It's like, oh my God, the moments I'm sure we've all had where we're lying on the floor crying or, screaming into a pillow or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But the only way to get to the enlightenment and that alignment with your true self is through that. This is what makes us strong. So yeah, I feel you, and I love that you brought that up because it's so true.
And I'm really loving the smile on
I know. Benson is like, oh, I like this story. It's so funny. It's like I'm sure dogs, they have great hearing, right? So I'm sure he can hear people through my headphones because there's certain people he always comes for, and he always comes for you. It's so funny.
That's good. Yeah,
Feeling the good energy.
that's been my facial team
I
journey.
love
Just
that.
like, yeah, of that. I mean, it's something that's I'm gonna be healing for years to come, really. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it kind of went up and now it's just kind of like for
Yeah.
a little while. So, but yeah, on the peer group, I often hear people, they're just like, when is this gonna happen? When's this gonna happen? And it's
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
It's
it's good
like just
having the
let it.
resources, all of the people who've done it. And I'm grateful for the people who were ahead of me. And yeah, and I'm grateful too that society is being a lot more open to all of this stuff, even with all of the shit that's going down in the States. And
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's so messed up. I'm like, why are we moving backwards?
yeah,
What? Like, make it make sense because it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, ugh, I could go on a tangent about that right
that's a whole
now.
different that's a whole
Oh,
different
yeah.
thing.
Whole
Yeah.
other episode. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that is my FFS journey.
I
And
love it.
so let's insert some pictures right here.
for being so open with us and for sharing your journey. Like, it's so appreciated. And I'm speaking on behalf of myself and just all of the viewers and listeners out there, and all the people I've received communication from who've been just so inspired by your story, and that you're putting it all out there. And like I've said a million times, this is how we gain compassion and understanding and just openness and love for everyone in the world, which is like what my goal is. I'm like, let's shift that energy and just be an energy of love, because there's nothing better than that. So I want to thank you so much. But before we let you go, do you have any final words of wisdom for anybody out there, or anyone who may be new in their journey, whatever you feel?
I would say that anyone that's new in their journey, like I talked about in the other episode, is reach out on Facebook, on social medias to people, send them a message just saying, hey, like, I am looking for resources. Will you help me?
Yeah.
Often people will reach out and they will help you. One of the other things I would say is change is scary. It's scary that you think that society won't be accepting of you,
Mhm.
and a lot of that's just in your head. It's scary to kind of drop the ball and just be like, hey, this is what I need in my life. And when that actually happens and you move forward with your life, I feel like you're gonna have so much support that you did not even know was there. And that's
Right.
the most amazing thing.
Yeah. And living in your truth is everything.
Yeah.
So I feel it overtakes any other thing. And I feel like we get to points in our lives where we know things need to change and we need to shift. And it's just a beautiful when you lean into that and trust it and go for it.
Yeah, it's not for everybody. Some people, they might not be ready to take the step or whatnot, but when you know you're ready, I would say don't be afraid, because a lot of that is in your head. And it
Yes.
was for me, and I was very surprised at the amount of support that I have and that I'm still getting from so many new people. And yeah, it's just something that it changed my life, but I could never go back. Like, I can't even picture the life that I had before. Um,
I
it's
love
it's
that.
I still have my challenges, daily challenges, like
Mhm.
people trying to like figure out like my pronouns, like people who've known me forever who see me
Right.
one way and now they're like, well, you still kind of look the same, but that's because they have a perception in their mind of what I looked like before, and it's hard for them to see me a little bit different.
Hmm.
So like going at work, I can't go to work and all glammed up in dresses and stuff. That would probably be the only way that they would see me different, because I still have basically the same face. I mean, if you put my face side by side, you can see that if you look at one picture, you'll see male. You look at the other picture and you see female. If you look at them side by side, you see the exact same picture. And it's crazy to think that that's possible.
Yeah.
And if anyone needs to, they can always reach out to me on
Yes.
my Danny
Let's plug your
Jacob.
socials. Yes, while we're at it, we're going to get all your socials. So if anyone wants to reach out, if you resonate with Dani, she's an open book, as we have been so privileged to have her on here. And I know she loves connecting. So let us know your socials and the best ways to reach you.
So the best ways to follow me or to reach me is through my Instagram, which is Dani Jacobs 72. Jacobs used to be my middle name. Now Danger's my middle name.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that that is the best way. I also have my Dani's Fantabulous Journey page on Instagram, which is just, I try and keep it just as a resource for friends to check in as I'm through my transition. To yeah, just see kind of where I'm at. And I try not to do like selfies and stuff. It's just pretty much, it's pretty slow. It's a slow page, but I also have that page. If people were to reach out to me, I do filter because they're both private accounts,
Mm-hmm.
and I filter quite a bit. So the best thing would be to send me a message. If you're going to request, send me a message and just say, hey, I seen you on the Tea with KG, and I will be sure to add you to my Instagram. So it'd be
Perfect.
great.
Yes, and
Well,
I'm gonna
thank
have
you so
that
much for
linked.
having me
Oh,
too. This is
of
so good.
course. You're
So
always welcome here. And I feel so much gratitude to you, because you supported me from day one. You were like, all right, let's go. Like, you were so open to coming on, and just, it means so much to me because this is such an expression for me. It's how I do my light work in the world. I just want to make this world more beautiful and more sparkly and more accepting and loving. And you're such an integral part of that. So thank you.
Great. Well, thanks so much. And
Yay.
I'm gonna be off to disco class right after this.
Woo! For everyone watching, all of the links will be in the description box below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that like button. If you've resonated with Dani, make sure you reach out, go follow her on her journey. And I just want to thank everyone for tuning in. We really appreciate the love and support, and we will see you next time.